Guardian Alliance and Galactic Federation intervention 28,000 BC 10,000 BC. The Templar Anu grew progressively more hostile within the territories under Syrian Council protection, and many relocated to Atlantis, which was becoming the Templar Anu's stronghold. Angered that they were not permitted to enter the Inner Earth or use the Ark of the Covenant, the Templar Anu devised a plan to conquer the Inner Earth territories by using the Atlantean crystal generators to tear down the electromagnetic barriers that secured the Inner Earth portals. The Templar Anu began their conquest from the continent of Atlantis, but quickly discovered the Inner Earth portal shields could not be easily destroyed. As they forced excessive power through one of their main generator crystals, the crystal unit exploded, with more than 10 times the force of an atomic bomb. Several other smaller generators also exploded, ripping apart the continent of Atlantis and sending the majority of its land mass under the sea. Following the explosions of 30,000 years ago, 28,000 BC, the Atlantean landmass was reduced to 3 islands and most of its populations were destroyed. Just prior to the explosion, the Syrian Council removed various groups from Atlantis, distributing them throughout various locations on the globe, many being taken to Egypt for resettling. The Egyptians were forewarned of the coming event, and most of the culture retreated underground into Inner Earth communities, finding shelter from the earth changes that would result from the explosions. During the explosions in Atlantis, the earth was tilted slightly on its axis, throwing the earth's grid out of balance, breaking the energetic link between the Pyramid of Giza and Sirius B. The Great Pyramid could no longer function as an interstellar teleport station. The Ark of the Covenant remained stable, but surface conditions were thrown into chaos once again. The pole tilt created massive flooding in many places throughout the globe, and the rearrangement of some land masses. Once surface conditions stabilized, the races returned to the surface to rebuild. While the Anunnaki resistance collected the Templar Anu they had rescued and placed them back upon the islands of Atlantis, helping them to reconstruct their civilization. Anunnaki of the Syrian Council remained in Egypt, then extended their influence into Atlantean island territory, returning the Atlantean and Anu Melchizedek survivors they had exiled in the Inner Earth to the Atlantean islands, while slowly swaying a good percentage of the Atlantean Templar Anu to give up their Anunnaki resistance affiliation. Though the Law of One was beginning a resurgence in the Atlantean island cultures between 30,000 to 12,500 years ago, 28,000 BC 10,500 BC, the Anunnaki of the Syrian Council, and the Ark of the Covenant which they continued to protect, remained more vulnerable to Anunnaki resistance infiltration, because the Galactic Federation and Syrian Council fleets could no longer instantaneously come to Earth's defense due to the disruption of the Giza Pyramid teleport station. Around 12,500 years ago, 10,500 BC, the Anunnaki resistance, angered by the loss of their stronghold in Atlantis, launched an aggressive airstrike against the Syrian Council Anunnaki outpost on Mars and then in Egypt, in an attempt to destroy the Ark of the Covenant, and claim dominion over the Earth civilization. The Martian outpost was destroyed. The Syrian Council and various interstellar allies squelched the takeover attempt and drove the Anunnaki resistance fleet out of Earth's vicinity to the distant planet of Nibiru. But they did not arrive in time to prevent the destruction of the Great Pyramid, the Sphinx and various other cultural centers in Egypt. The portal bridge of the Ark of the Covenant survived the attack, as did the Inner Earth territories. But following this brief onslaught of 10,500 BC, the pyramids, Sphinx and other Egyptian structures had to be rebuilt. The Atlantean islands were not directly involved in these attacks, though resistance-loyal Templar Anu created minor uprisings against their Syrian Council loyalist relatives, until word of the resistance defeat drove them into temporary underground seclusion. The Atlantean islands continued on with mounting tensions between the two groups, and by 9500 BC the resistance-loyal Templar Anu had once again regained their stronghold in Atlantis. In Egypt, following the resistance attack, the Syrian Council Anunnaki, Anu Melchizedeks, Cloister Melchizedeks and Seres Egyptians rebuilt the primary structures of their civilization. The Ankhs, which had been hidden in the Inner Earth during the raid, were again brought to the surface, and the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Sphinx, and several new structures were rebuilt. The Sphinx and Great Pyramid were placed in their previous locations, Mark 64ing the fortification of the Ark of the Covenant and inner Earth portals. The Great Pyramid was slightly realigned in order to create a harmonic resonance link with the Pleiadian star system through the planet Alcyone, which would allow the structure to be used once again as an interstellar teleport station. Because of the disturbances of the Earth grid that occurred during the Atlantean explosions 30,000 years ago, 28,000 BC, the original alignment with the Sirius B system could not be re-established. The Third Eye of Horus portal bridge to Sirius B did remain operational for smaller-scale visitations. The Earth was now more closely in alignment with the interstellar energy spirals that ran through the Pleiadian system, and so the new pyramid was oriented to an energetic alignment with Alcyone.